So, okay, 5 times as many apples and bananas. I feel like this is one of the harder ones. So remember, we have a word problem here, and this is a system of equations. So there's 2 things we're trying to find, apples and bananas. And there's 2 like criteria or constraints on the apples and bananas. So the first criteria is that there's $8. She spends $8. The second is that she has 5 times as many bananas as apples. So first, we're only going to look at bananas, or 5 times as many. So this is kind of hard sometimes because you actually have to start with apples. Sorry, got interrupted by a 4-year-old. Okay, so we have to first find 3 ways that we would have 5 times as many bananas as apples. So you actually want to start with apples and multiply it by 5 to find out bananas. Does that kind of make sense? So if I have 1 banana, I have 5 times as many. Oops, I said that wrong. Start with apples. So 1 apple, I have 5 times as many bananas. So how many bananas would I have? What's 5 times as many bananas as apples? So I have 1 apple, 1 times 5 would be 5. So you, right here, if you click try and it doesn't work, you did something wrong as far as the 5 times. But then you're going to put 1 apple and 5 bananas right here. And then here, we could do 2 apples and 10 bananas. And 3 and 15. And then it's going to give you a graph. So then on the graph, you only have to plot 2 of these. So like I could use 1 and 5 and 2 and 10. I don't have to use 3, 15 because watch. 1, 5, 2, 10. It's going to go through 3, 15 anyway. So I don't need to plot that point. And now we try to get $8. With these, I think it's easiest to first do $8 worth of apples. Oops, that went a little over. And then no bananas. So that's 4 apples to make $8 and 0 bananas. Or I could have no apples and all bananas. I have to have 20 bananas, so I have 0 apples and 20 bananas to make $8. Oops, I pushed the wrong number right there. And then, oops, maybe you do half and half, so $4 worth of apples and $4 worth of bananas. And the cool part is it tallies it for you. So you guys can see down here at the bottom where it's already calculating it for me. Okay, so that gives me a total of $8. So I have 2 apples and 10 bananas. And so now I have to plot these. So I like to do the intercept. So 4, 0 and 0, 20. And so then I just have to find where the lines cross. So the lines cross at 2, 10. This is the part that people sometimes have a little trouble with what I'm seeing here. So like I'm looking at right here where this point is where they cross, and the x coordinate of that point is 2 and the y coordinate is 10. So then my final answer would be 2, 10, and it's just good to check it. Apples are $2, 2 times 4 is 4, plus 40 cents times 10 bananas would be 4. So $4 plus $4 is $8. And then 10 is 5 times 2. So it does work for both of our criteria. And so that's the answer. The biggest trouble people run into with these is trying to do too much at one time. So those first 3, you're only looking at how many bananas and apples are. The second 3, you're only looking at the cost. You don't do it both together until the very, very end. Okay. So Nolan is a songwriter. So what we're doing here is we're trying to repair the fact that I've spent the whole entire year avoiding word problems. It turns out we eventually have to do them. And so these are word problems. And this is just me sort of introducing what a word problem, how they work. And the tricky thing about word problems is there's just not a lot to like teach you about word problems. You just kind of have to read it and see the answer, right? So Nolan is a songwriter who collects royalties on his songs. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to not annotate because I don't really love the way that these. I'm going to grab. Okay, here we go. So there we are. Nolan's a songwriter who collects royalties on his songs whenever they're played in a commercial or movie. That makes sense because that's normal. You guys know what royalties are? That's why you can't just like randomly play songs, because when you play a song, you have to pay the person who wrote it. Okay, so it's just sometimes nice to know what they're talking about. So whenever his songs are played in a commercial or movie, so this is the second set of problems on the first Delta Math assignment. He'll earn $50 every time one of his songs is played in a commercial, and he earns $100 every time one of his songs is played in a movie. How much would he earn if his songs were played in 10 commercials and 5 movies? And so all we're doing here is we're going to answer the question, and then we're going to write a little expression to represent what's going on, like in general. So the first thing we need to think about is he gets $50 every time one of his songs is played. So it's $50 for a commercial. And then it's $100 for a movie. Okay. So if he plays 10 commercials and it's $50 for every commercial, what do we do with 10 and 50? Multiply, exactly. So we're going to do $50 times the 10 commercials that he did. And that's X, right? I'm just, for later, it's X commercials. So I'm going to just remember that this is X, plus $100 for every 5, for the 5 movies he did, which is going to be Y later. So then we just add that up. So that's 5. This is where you get out your calculator, because if I don't know why I'm tired. I had a nap this morning. That's probably why I'm tired. I had a nap this morning. 50 times 100 plus, no, sorry, I can't. I'm trying to do everything on my laptop screen and there's just not room. Sorry, okay, clear. 50 times 10 plus 100 times 5 is 1,000. So it would be $1,000 for the 10 commercials and 5 movies. Then what you do for the second part is you just look here. X is commercials and Y is number of movies. So I'm just going to replace the 10 with X and the 5 with Y. So you'd have 50X plus 100Y. Because we know that however many commercials and movies his song is played in, we would just need to replace those numbers with X and Y, and that would tell us our answer. So this answer down here is going to have X's and Y's in it. Okay. Here's one with percents in it. And this is a commission one, which is a good problem to do anyway, because A, commission's real and you might need to use it someday. Like you might earn commission and you want to know how it works. And B, it's a percent problem. So you have to times, what's going on here? Now I can write on this. I think you guys could see it before, but now I can write on it. So Brianna works as a salesperson at an electronics store. She earns a 4% commission on the total dollar value of all cell phone sales. And she earns a, I'm just going to get a color highlighter here. Oh, it's also 4% commission on all computer sales. How much would she earn on a day when she had $1,900 worth of phones and $1,600 worth of computers? And then how much would she earn for X phone and Y computers? So who kind of understands what commission is? Or just basically yes or no, do you know what, if I say commission, do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, so Lena's heard of it at least. Okay, but Eva has not, and that makes sense because you guys would never have earned commission yet. But if you have a family member that earns commission, then you probably heard a lot about commission because they probably whine about it. Well, I shouldn't say whine. They probably talk about it a lot. What commission is that it's usually salespeople that earn commission, and it's an incentive to sell more. So they get basically extra money if they sell more stuff. So like, for this situation, she earns a 4% commission on however many cell phone sales she makes. So it doesn't say cell phone, but phone sales. I'm assuming cell phones. So, you know, you add up how much she made on cell phone sales, and then she gets to take 4% of that home in her pocket. Well, I mean, just in her paycheck, usually just added to her paycheck. But like, for instance, my friend Bryant works for an irrigation company. He sells irrigation systems, right? He's the guy that goes and talks to people and tells them what they want to buy and stuff. And you know, some of those, they're for agricultural stuff. They sell for, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars. So he'll get to take home a commission check that's like $5,000 or $10,000. That's how realtors work, and that's how car salesmen work too. So that's why the guy at the car salesman wants you to buy the car, is not because he thinks it's best for you. It's because he wants his commission check. So the big thing here is when we're dealing with percentages, we need to remember that if we have 4%, does anyone know what that is as a decimal? Because it's not 4. .04, good. And the way you get that, there's 2 ways. One is you move the decimal over 2 times. Is that what you, or you can just think of it as divide it by 100, which is what I prefer, but, or sorry, it's what I prefer to, that's how I prefer to teach it. Because if you know how to move the decimal, you already know that. And that trick didn't, if you don't, then that trick didn't work for you. So here's my trick. So you got to make sure whenever you see a percent sign, you divide that number by 100 before you use it. And then the other trick to these is when it says of, except it doesn't here. Here it's saying on, but if you hear the word of or commission on, they both mean multiply. Okay, so here I'm taking 4% of per of the sales, which means I'm going to do 0.04 times $1,900 in cell phones. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know, Yesenia. If you have to restart. Oh. Keeps telling you you need 4 more dimes than nickels. Are you adding 4 or multiplying 4? So it looks like if it says 4 more dimes than nickels, you should be taking nickels and adding 4 to get dimes. Does that make sense? Are you doing it backwards? Hopefully that helps. But let me finish this example really quick, and if you're still struggling, I'll go back to yours. Yeah, no problem. That's why I like you guys to stay on while you're working. Okay, so on this one, you guys, I did, since it's 4% commission for both phones and computers, I did 0.04 times 1,900 phones and 0.04 times 1,600 worth of computers. And now I'm going to take my calculator and put those numbers in and see what I get. 0.04 times 1,900 plus 0.04 times 1,600 gives me $140. So the answer here would be 140. And then when you come down here, you're gonna put X where the 1,900 is and Y where the 1,600 is. No, not, yeah. So you have 0.04 X plus 0.04 Y. What do you guys think? That was a little bit rushed, but and then if you get stuck on the third problem set, I'm going to encourage you to actually, as silly as this sounds, but they're due on the same day anyway, watch the video for lesson 2, because at the end of that video, I kind of go over how to do those ones. So if you're stuck on lesson 1, watch the video for lesson 2 and then go back to lesson 1. It might make more sense. That was me.